Hey y'all, my name's Jen. I'm a health and life coach on a mission to empower women, and this season I call the messy middle. We believe it's never too late to dream your wildest dreams and to build lives freed from the shoulds and have-tos. Here, we talk to ourselves like we do our girlfriends and our sisters and daughters. I will share stories and resources with lots of encouragement and a little bit of tough love to drive you toward action. In this podcast, we talk about everything: career, relationships, motherhood, and health. So grab your sneakers and let's go, because she's wild and freed. Hey y'all. Welcome to another episode of She's Wild and Freed. I'm your host, Jen, and I am really looking forward to this conversation today. We are going to talk about stress. So it sounds kind of funny that I'm like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, but I've got some really good information here. Just forewarning you, we are going to school. We're going to learn some things today, but then also I'll share some tips and resources to help just cope or deal better with stress in our daily lives. So stress is something we deal with on a daily, sometimes hourly basis. The levels of stress can vary, as well as the types. For example, you spilled your coffee on your shirt when you were walking out the door to go to work. Stress. Your kid is really having trouble sleeping at night, so you spend multiple times in their room or in bed with them. They're in your bed multiple times during the week, and you're just not sleeping well. Stress. Your parent has been diagnosed with cancer or another chronic condition. Stress. You have a deadline at work that you're not sure you're going to meet. Stress. Even just a deadline can cause stress in many of us. You're feeling unfulfilled. You and your partner have been arguing a lot lately. You get the picture. If you're like me, stress is a constant companion. I feel it everywhere. My mind, my body, and my soul. The more I think about it, the more stressed I get. Today's episode will include some education. Like I said before, we're going to school, but also information on how stress affects our minds and our bodies. And then we'll finish out with some exercises to hopefully feed your soul. And these will include tips and resources to regulate your nervous system, calm your mind, release stress from your body, or at least alleviate it. So let the lesson begin. I spend a lot of time in a stress state. I don't know about you, but for me, I function pretty well on the edge. But I've also inserted some practices to help me with my constant stress state. It's crazy that I live with stress like this. It feels like, those sucker fishes that are on the sides and bottoms of sharks. It feels like that, always there, right by my side. And maybe some of that resonates with you. Maybe you specifically can relate. Like, we can't function without a little bit of stress. Why? Why is this the case? And it's like I said in a previous episode, why does it have to be so hard? And why do we put so much pressure on ourselves anyway? I think we've been conditioned to think that operating on the edge is the way. Maybe through our upbringing, maybe through school, through our social circles. I mean, we definitely hear a lot of that narrative online. It's time to crush your goals. Take it to the next level. Push hard. Work harder. Don't slow down. I feel like I have been on that hamster wheel for too long. So I did a little research to learn exactly what effect stress has on us. And here are some of the things I discovered. Let's start with the physical. According to the American Psychological Association, our bodies are well equipped to handle stress in small doses. But when stress becomes long-term or chronic, it can have serious effects on our body. Our muscles tense up when we experience stress. So, for example, someone jumps out behind the bushes and scares you. It's a quick burst of adrenaline, with quick reflexes and muscle tension. But once the stressful event has passed, our muscles return back to that relaxed state, or just kind of a normal state. And this is good. This is how the body's designed to help us survive. And then there's the constant low-level stress. For example, work stress. It's always lurking. You have tension in your upper back and shoulders. Maybe you experience tension headaches. These seem to be ever present, even when we're not working. Okay, let's move on to the respiratory and cardiovascular systems. When we're stressed, our heart rate quickens. Our breathing becomes shallow and also quick. The amount of oxygen going to our blood vessels and cells is reduced. So again, using the previous example, someone jumps out from behind the bushes and scares you. All these things happen, but once the event has passed, our bodies regulate. Heart rate and breathing go back to normal. But for those of us who are living with chronic stress, we may notice our breathing is often shallow. When we try to take a deep breath in, it's hard to do, like we really can't take a deep breath. Or we may even experience pains in our chest due to stress at work, in life, or relationships. Prolonged stress on our body can lead to serious issues related to heart disease, including heart attack and stroke. Now let's shift gears to the gastrointestinal system. I told you all, we're going to school today. So raise your hand if you experience stress in your gut. I know I do. Whether it be bloating, nausea, constipation or diarrhea, just general pain or indigestion. And so much research has gone into the brain-gut connection. Think about it. If you're preparing to give a presentation at work and all of a sudden you have to go to the bathroom, like you already went, but here comes that feeling. Other symptoms of stress include heartburn and low immune response. Because you see, within the gut, there are hundreds of millions of neurons which can function fairly independently and are in constant communication with the brain. The gut is also inhabited by millions of bacteria that can influence the gut's health along with the brain's health. And this can impact our ability to think and can affect our emotions. So you might be seeing a trend here. It's both physical, mental, and emotional. And it's all connected. Our muscles may tense up. This causes tension in our shoulders, our back. Heart rate quickens, but we also are having trouble breathing or taking deep breaths. And then the gut, really related to that brain-gut connection. So here I want to share a personal story about gut pain and stress. When I was in high school, I experienced chronic stomach pains. My parents, like any good parents, took me to the doctor, and the only solution presented was prescribing me Prilosec for heartburn. So even though I told my doctor it didn't burn, it just hurt, that was what I was given. And we tried that. They also upped the level, so even a stronger dose to see if that could help, but nothing was working. I even went through getting an endoscopy. So if you're not familiar, that's when they stick a scope down through your mouth, down your throat, to look around into your digestive system to see what's going on down there. But nothing was found, and that pain just persisted. Then there came a moment where a very stressful situation was removed from my life, and poof, like magic, the stomach pain ceased, like gone. And I was amazed, but also a little frustrated with going through all those tests and meds just to find out that the pain was due to stress. It was stress. And there are other things that could be contributing to gut issues, and that's something maybe we'll address at another time. But right now, we're talking about stress. Finally, the nervous system, and specifically the autonomic nervous system. This is made up of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. You may have heard about this before. And each plays a part in our stress response. When we encounter a stressful event, so I'll use a different example. We'll say a bear is chasing us in the woods. Our sympathetic nervous system is turned on, and all energy goes to our arms and legs to get the heck out of there. Our bodies are amazing in that way. I mean, that means that all the energy goes to the parts of our bodies that need to move, that need to keep us safe. And then it also means that the energy is removed from our internal organs and our digestive system. Now, once we're safe, we ran away from that bear. I think technically bears are super fast. You're not supposed to run away. But again, we're just using that as an example here. But once we're safe, our parasympathetic system kicks in. And some of you may have heard, we move into a rest and digest phase. So the blood, the energy returns back to our internal organs, and we're able to now start digesting and just everything flowing properly. So let me ask, have any of these resonated with you, or have you had a light bulb moment of like, oh yeah, that does happen to me, or I do have that, or maybe all of these you can relate to. Another example I'll share with you just recently, I had a big presentation at work to do in front of about 150 people. This was a virtual event, but even though it's virtual, you still know there are a lot of people watching and listening to you, even if you're not physically in the room. So as the time came for me to speak, I felt my heart rate increase. My palms began to sweat and my throat got really, really dry. I even had a feeling of, that when you have that feeling of a frog in my throat. I had spoken in front of groups before, and even this group actually, but every time I'm about to speak in front of people, I get those feelings. My body is getting me ready for this stressful event every time. And although I think to myself, why the heck is this happening? I know my stuff. I'm a good speaker. I know I will deliver a good presentation. My body still gets me ready. So again, the systems in our body are amazing, and they're here to protect us and keep us safe. And we just talked about, the ways stress affect multiple systems or all of the systems in our body, including musculoskeletal, digestive, respiratory, cardiovascular, and then, of course, our nervous system. The stress response is normal, and it's a reaction to danger or a scary situation, hard things, or even exciting events. I mean, think about when you're getting ready to go on a roller coaster. Even if you're getting excited, the body reacts in a certain way. However, many of us, maybe you specifically, are living with low levels of chronic stress. So even if we're not experiencing some of these symptoms I've mentioned, we do have some of these nagging things going on. So, for example, every time we eat, we feel bloated, or we have trouble sleeping at night. By the end of the workday, our shoulders are tight and sore. We snap at our kids or our partner, not knowing why. We may feel tired all the time or even get sick often due to our body and our mind always being on alert. So that's the thing here. It's not just reacting to something stressful or getting us ready for exciting things. This low level or constant stress state that we're living in is causing our bodies to react all the time. But we can definitely do some things starting now to help us gain clarity on the stress, how it's affecting our bodies and minds, and take action to renew our soul and reduce our stress. It's like I say in the intro, I want to share stories, tips, and resources to help you move into action with lots of encouragement and a little bit of tough love. So here we go. First, one of the hardest and easiest things to do is breathe. Slow down. Take intentional breaths throughout the day. Maybe prior to something big happening, maybe before starting work or a project, before you walk into the house after work, before going somewhere with your kids, or whenever breathing deeply with intention can be used to reset your nervous system. When you do that, taking full deep breaths consciously, you can feel the tension release when you do this. But that's the thing. And the reason why this is like the easiest but hardest thing to do. We have access to this all day, every day. We breathe in and we breathe out, sometimes every second or two, and even when we're sleeping. We don't have to think about it. But what we do have to think about is consciously slowing down and taking time for ourselves to consciously breathe. So right now, together, we're going to breathe. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes so you can turn off one of your senses and focus in on your breath. If you're driving or unable to shut your eyes at the moment, no worries, just stay with me. But sometimes for me, when I close my eyes, I automatically slow down my breathing. It's like a reflex that I'm moving toward a relaxed state. So together, we're going to take 4 box breaths. A box breath is when you inhale fully, hold at the top of the inhale, and then exhale fully, holding again at the bottom of your breath. All right, here we go. Together, let's inhale. Hold at the top. And then exhale. Holding again at the bottom. We're going to repeat this 3 more times. So inhale. Hold. And exhale. Holding at the bottom. So keep going at your pace. If you find yourself getting dizzy, just release the need to be the best at breathing. You can slow your breath or breathe in more quickly if you need to. You're still breathing with intention. Let's finish out if you haven't already. Inhale. Hold. And then exhale. Hold right there at the bottom. Now you can continue to do that breathing, or you just breathe slowly and steadily. And notice where your thoughts are going. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice if it gets easier or harder as you practice this. Notice without judgment or concern. Just notice. That's so nice. Okay, another way we can help ourselves when in a stressful state is drink more water. Yep, simple enough. Believe it or not, most of us are walking around dehydrated throughout the day. Especially in the colder months, it does feel harder to drink water, so you really have to be conscious of that. According to newsmedical.net, studies have shown that increased levels of hydration have beneficial effects on cognitive function by improving mood, energy, and attention. Other positive effects of drinking enough water include improved digestion, weight management, more energy, decreased joint pain, and less headaches. That's according to the National Center for Aging. Oh yeah, not to mention being hydrated helps your skin. And the third way to alleviate stress in your body and mind is prioritize your sleep. Getting a good night's rest can do wonders for your mind, body, and soul. And I know this is also a hard one. You may enjoy playing games on your phone at night or scrolling social media. I'm definitely guilty of that. You may like catching up on that show you started on Netflix. But what if you put your phone down and didn't look at it past 9 or even 8 p.m.? What if you set your room to be cool, dark, and smelling good, like lighting a lavender candle or putting a diffuser on? What if you didn't drink caffeine in the afternoon or you didn't eat too much at dinner? All those things can help aid with getting a good night's rest. And getting good sleep is tricky, but this is a chance to notice your routine and see what works or doesn't work with getting a solid amount of sleep. So I know these tips are not revolutionary or something new, but I'm choosing to get back to the basics and choosing the simple route to help you improve your health and well-being. Taking these simple steps, breathing a few times throughout the day with intention, increasing your water intake, and prioritizing your sleep can assist with decreasing your stress levels. And of course, there's other things that would help. Taking a walk, exercising, and that's whatever you like to do. Spending time doing the things you love and with the people you love. And creating space to feel your feelings and also allowing them to move through you. I know stress is a daily part of our lives, and we don't have to keep living and existing and working and loving the same way we have or how it's always been. We can break the cycles and allow our lives, work, relationships, and hobbies flow with ease. But you have to take the first step toward this life. And changing habits is a bit tricky. And it takes planning, work, and intention. So right now, decide what is the one thing that you can do today to help your stress level. And you can pick one of the things I mentioned or anything that you can do to help alleviate your physical and mental load. Then tomorrow, do it again. And the next day. Set a reminder on your phone or calendar. Put a sticky note on your mirror in the bathroom. Do something that will help you alleviate this stress that's a constant. That's like those little sucker fish on the shark. They're always there. Because we don't have to live our lives in a stressed out mode. We don't have to talk about how busy we are or how we have so much to do or how stressed out we are. We can change that narrative. And maybe even the cycle breaks with us. We show our children that life doesn't have to be so hard, so busy, so crazy. We're not always stressed out. And then they can carry that on to their children and beyond. Thank you so much for your attention and energy today. Even though this is just me sitting in my office talking in a microphone, I actually imagine us together talking over coffee or tea or a glass of wine. And it's amazing to be on this journey with you. See you next time. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you feel free to take action toward building the life of your dreams. If something in this episode resonated with you, I would so appreciate it if you would text it to a girlfriend so she can hear the message as well. Until next time, stay wild.